So casually keep diving into concrete, so bittersweet, huh? Keep losing sleep while driving in the backseat. What's left of me? Drowning in what feels just like an ocean. Negativity is getting closer. Powder keeps the heat when it gets colder, you know. Sometimes everything just gets hard. Sometimes everything just gets harder. Feeling like I'm missing some parts. Days just keep on getting much darker. Even when I'm down in the lower, I remember what you were saying. Sometimes all you need is a spark. Maybe just a better kind of bitter. Lose gravity, I'm swimming in the quicksand. Up to my knees. Deep losing sleep, I'm manic dream at midnight. So hard to please. Drowning in what feels just like an ocean. Negativity is getting closer. Powder keeps the heat when it gets colder, you know. Sometimes everything just gets hard. Sometimes everything just gets harder. Feeling like I'm missing some parts. Days just keep on getting much darker. Even when I'm down in the lower, I remember what you were saying. Sometimes all you need is a spark. Maybe just a better kind of bitter. Think about the stuff we play. How I'd rather do that instead. I keep screaming out loud from the top of my lungs, baby, ooh. Think about the stuff we play. How I'd rather do that instead. I keep screaming.
Yo, what up? Baby, ooh. Like the video on your way in, good people.
How I'd rather do that instead. I keep screaming out loud from the top of my lungs, baby, ooh.
Like the video, share the video.
How I'd rather do that instead.
Comment down below if you're watching on the replay. Thank you for joining us. What's up, YouTube? It's your boy JD, aka Mr. December, and we are back with another live stream, y'all. I know I'm throwing y'all off a little bit, just a little bit. Different time, but we had some scheduling issues, but it's all good. We are here tonight, and y'all are looking at the thumbnail, you're looking at the title. We are about to jump right into it. We have the lovely Antoinette joining me today. Say something to the people.
Greetings, everyone. As always, it's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, it is good to be here, and it's good to see you, Antoinette. How was your weekend?
Great, because I slept. I stayed my little butt right in that bed and did what I wanted to do. And that
That's
was
what's
it.
up.
Hmm.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Well, listen, y'all. Alabama Church Girl will not be joining us tonight. Pastor Rob, unfortunately, will not be joining us tonight. And I really, really hope that Antoinette and I will still be friends after this show. Look, she getting her notes ready, y'all.
Already.
She getting her notepad ready. Hang on, let me get my let me get mine. Let me get it over here in this camera shot. Is it okay? Yeah,
Right.
it's in the camera shot. So we're ready to do this. So
Yes.
y'all, listen. If you haven't already, share the video with everybody that you know. Go down your friends list, tag them in the video. If you're watching in the Facebook group, please don't hesitate to give your comments down below. And if you are in the Facebook group, the private Facebook group link is in the description. Please, y'all, don't be scared to post in the group. You understand what I'm saying? We want to hear from you. So yeah, we about to jump right into it. Antoinette, Rebecca Lynn Pope. We talked about her a little bit last week, right? I brought up the video of her, and she was saying that what's up. Hey, listen, and two again, if y'all are watching on Facebook, if you're on my personal page, I cannot see your comments. Okay, it's not that I'm ignoring your comments, but I can't see them if you're watching on my personal page, which that's really only people that I know, right? And then if you're watching in the Facebook group, the Love and Relationships Facebook group, please, if y'all don't mind, give StreamYard access to show your picture so we know who we're talking to. I try to monitor the group and YouTube. I can't do both. So y'all help me out. Facebook user, thank you so much for joining us. Shout out to Gabrielle White in the comment section. Thank you so much for joining us, Gabrielle. Antoinette, you saw what Rebecca Lynn Pope had to say. That was what, maybe 4 years ago, right? She was a relationship coach, right?
Right.
And she said that women's standards were absolutely ridiculous, right? You remember that, don't you?
I
You
do.
remember that? You
Just
think
just a
just a
little
little bit?
bit.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you do. Listen, Rebecca Lynn Pope came back, right?
Mm.
And Kendra G has been heavy in these social media streets, right? So I
Right.
want to bring up this video and we're going to hear what Rebecca Lynn Pope has to say about this. Let me know if y'all can hear this. Here we go. Let's play it.
What do you think the challenge is that women are having, black women in particular, when it becomes to becoming a wife?
Keeping it 100,
Yes.
there's not enough eligible black males who fit the needs of black women. By the time you dissect the demographics of finances, sexual orientation, what you end up drilling down into, because black women tend to want to marry black men.
Right, right.
So black women are excelling. They're getting accelerated degrees, graduate degrees, doctorate degrees. They're starting businesses. Black women are running circles around men.
Right.
And it's also shown in research that women want to marry on their same level of financial and educational status.
Yeah.
So if you're a black woman making $150,000 a year with a master's degree, you tend to want to marry a black man on that same level or higher. If black women are excelling at such an accelerated rate, how do men keep up with that?
What do you think the challenge is that?
All right, Antoinette, what do you think about what Rebecca Lynn Pope had to say? What do you think?
I don't know. I still ignore her because she learned a new word. Black women excel on an accelerated rate. So I guess she now knows how to use even Excel on a
Mm-hmm.
computer. However, with relationships, there are I I guess what she's trying to say is that how is it black men who aren't in the financial stability that black women are heading to, how do they gravitate to the expectations that are being shown uh, in technology, on TV, etc., what have you. Uh, but like Val and I have said before, the man who makes $45,000, okay, if I'm making 65,000 or even six figures, if this has been a man who can show he can work and show his value in other aspects in life and the relationship to continue to add to our foundation and our wealth. Wealth is not always dealing with finances. It's also the wealth of your mind. It's also the wealth of respect. It's also the wealth of loyalty. It's also the wealth of family stability. And how can you create a balance in this? Now, yes, if you have a Black woman who has her master's, her doctorate, she's owning businesses, etc., yes, there's going to be a gravitational attraction to men that fit that standard because you have a taste for what you've now experienced. So I believe was, instead of her saying excelling, to accelerate is probably to expand in order to gravitate. So that's how I interpreted what she was trying to say. But um, it, it's a deeper conversation than now. I guess she's still trying to be relevant because, like I said, she disappeared for a minute, but now she back. I guess she's trying to reintroduce herself. So.
Yeah, and she definitely is, and this is gonna be a discussion for another time, but she also kind of came for the Godfather a few months ago, but that's another topic for a different time. So she said a few things that were very troubling, right? And she said that Black women typically want to marry Black men, which that is true. That is absolutely true. And it's also true that Black men tend to want to date Black women or marry Black women, right? We're going to get to those statistics in a second.
Mhm.
But another thing that she said was that Black women are running circles around Black men. I'm not really sure where that is coming from. Now, I will say this: with the earning potential, right?
Mhm.
The earning potential. A lot of people talk about high value men, right?
Mhm.
$50,000 being a median income, and how much money women are making, and how much money men are making, and how much does it take to live, right? Well, if you look at the statistics, which I'm about to bring up in just a quick second, is not many Black women that are actually, shout out to Family Values. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you. So yeah, you finally caught alive. That's what's up. And later on, I'm gonna drop the link. If anybody wants to come up and share your thoughts, please feel free to do so. So it's not many Black women that are earning much more than $50,000, right? And the number of Black men that's earning uh, $50,000, it is almost equal, right, to what women are doing, right?
Okay.
So check this out. Oh, my screen, my bad. All right, check this out. All right, here it is: $25,000 to $50,000 is considered to be working class, right? If you're making more than that, you're considered to be middle class. 150,000 and up, upper middle class, right? It's not really a whole lot of difference, right? So, Antoinette, can you see my screen all right?
We can see it.
All right. So, black men, all right, all education levels, 25 years and up, $720,000. This is median income per week, okay? All education levels, 727 a week. All men, 995 a week, okay? Women, all educational levels, $707 a week. 824 for all women, okay? Now, let's look at some college, no college, $624 for black women. Some college, no degree, $661 for men. Okay, wow. Bachelor's degree only, $897 for women, $933 for men, and then an advanced degree, $1188 per week, and $1133 per week for women. So, if you want to go by this demographic, right, men are earning more money than women are, right? Do you see what I'm saying?
If
So,
we're
how?
going by that, yes. But
Yeah.
then
So,
you also have to look into where are they actually getting the data from, because
the U.S. Census
is
Bureau.
it from
Yeah.
the census?
Yes. Yes. All of this information comes from the census. So, blackdemographics.com is legit. It is definitely a legit site. I've done my research on it extensively. Now, this is the good part. This is what I really wanted to get to. Check this out. Millennials, right? That's us. That's us. That's our age group. And if I'm not mistaken, going by my analytics, the biggest audience that I have is around our age, right?
Mm-hmm.
So single black millennials. Can y'all see this? Put a
Yeah,
one in the chat if y'all.
scroll it up a little bit, because we looking at the little couple like it's one of those reprints that we
Uh-huh.
post on our love lounges or something.
Yeah, love, right? So I'm gonna read what it says. Okay,
All right.
single black millennials. Yes, women are more educated, but there are just as many single black men making 50K and higher. Just as many, okay? Now, of single black millennials, let me read this. Here at blackdemographics.com, we have recently been asked about statistics regarding single black men and women and availability. There seems to be disagreements on social media about the availability, education, and education of single black men compared to women. So we decided to look into it. This is our first installment of what we believe to be several regarding data about African American singles, okay? So let's look at this first chart. Single black millennials, single black men and women ages 25 to 40. 7 million of us, right? All right, here we go. 100K and up. The dark one is men. The light one is women, okay? 100K and up. 90,000 compared to women, 80,000. Okay? 10,000 more men. 50K, okay? Men, 518. Women, I'm sorry, 518,000. Women, 531,000, okay? So it's 12,000, only 12,000 more women that make, the men that make between $50 and $100,000, okay?
Dude, let's also this little insert. Black women are also statistically the bottom of the totem pole to get paid even that base amount of wages for us as compared to anyone else on the spectrum. everybody else gets a little bit more. The white women, we know that. White men, we know that gap there in itself. So I believe when she was speaking about the running around in the circles around black men was due to the fact of the hustle. Yes, both black men and women have the hustle. They're talking about, I think she's more speaking on boots on the ground and how many different things we got for our pot to generate the amounts that are being shown on the screen, because there's other entities that we do in order to make that money, whereas because we're not getting paid the same amount. So let's say, okay, the job in itself is supposed to pay $35 an hour. You as a black man, or let's say we're in a relationship, you would get that $35 an hour, but I would only get $32.30. You see what I'm saying? So there is still going to be that difference, even though if we're looking at, hey, okay, I want somebody to make the same amount that I'm making. I know that because you don't have to put in as much because you're a male and you're going to get more money with those wages regardless. So I think the mindset is, or I believe the mindset is because we as black women have to put in a little bit more in order to get that money and to be up on the same standpoint. It means a little bit more. And that's what she talked about, running around in circles with the education, with the money, whatever. But we always have to, we being black women or women of color, have to work a little bit harder in order to get to the same equal playing field financially.
Okay, so why do you think that uh, women would automatically get paid less than men? So you said
Because
a
not at
man
all.
would get.
That's how the government set that up. Women in general statistically get paid less than males. Then you break that down even more to black women, we still get paid less than white women, white males, black men. There's been many reports about that. Black women don't get paid
Now,
the same amount of wages.
I'm glad you said that, because the wage gap myth has been sort of debunked. Shout out to Family Values again. Men earn more because they negotiate for more and have more experience, right? So I tend to agree with that, right? So I don't know if you remember, Antoinette, but several weeks ago we were talking about the wage gap, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was telling y'all a story about this young lady, African American young lady that was on the job interview, right? And the job interview was, you know, the environment that we're in right now. So the job interview was on a Zoom call, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the company that she was interviewing for, it was another black lady that was actually running the Zoom call. And when it got down to the part about where they wanted to negotiate money, the lady lowballed herself like a lot. You understand what I'm saying? And the other lady that was conducting or running the Zoom interview, she cut the Zoom off, right? Hit the girl up and say, hey, you cutting yourself way short. As for this amount, whereas usually men would do more research, right? Or definitely negotiate for more money, because, I mean, just for me, I'm going to shoot myself high, you know, rather than undercutting, right? So if you have a budget of you're going to pay somebody $100,000 a year to do a job, and that's your budget, right? Of course, you're not going to tell your employees right off the rip, you know, hey, listen, my cap is $100,000, right? So how much do you want me to pay you? That's not how that works. They don't share that information up front usually, right? So they're banking on maybe you saying, hey, I'll be satisfied doing this job for $80,000. You understand what I'm saying? Or I'd be satisfied doing this job for $90,000 a year. The company is coming out to the good, right? but usually women will undercut themselves like deep,
Where
right?
is this
Because
at? Because really, anybody, most of them I know do their research, and I'm where is this at? Where is this at, JD? Where women are low bar? I know that's a good example, a personal example that you know. But I think it goes both ways because a lot of the women that I know too, like we said, is hustlers. And what's gonna happen is the experience, sometimes that experience because they're at home mothers, that experience is coming through at home and handling them at home businesses. So you can't say y'all got more experience. You have maybe more experience on their corporate level and exposure there, but it depends on what their position you going for and what experiences you actually talking about. Because there's more than one way to skin a cat. And depending upon that experience and being able to execute your knowledge and the problem solving and strategic planning, it it's a difference.
So okay. Shout out to Family Values again. We get paid less than males because we don't go for the same type of jobs and work less hours due to our children, etc. Now that has been proven. I don't have the statistics here, but typically men work more hours too, right? Because we got to be the go getters, right? We gotta bring home the bacon. You understand what I'm saying? And if you don't eat pork, you got to bring home the turkey bacon. You feel me?
That's
So,
right.
so the thing of it is that men are harder workers usually. Not taking anything away from women, but Antoinette, you know, just like I know, we were built for this. You understand what I'm saying? We were built for this. Women weren't built to work long, grueling hours like men were. You understand what I'm saying?
It depends on the mindset. Because I'm gonna tell you what, and this is why I got this one little ex, because I was working. Because the way my mindset is set up and the way the men in my family set me up was just like them. You're gonna go ahead and hustle. We get up early in the morning at 0400 and get up, do what you need to do. But it depends on their support system as well. Sometimes most of us that don't have a support system, but if you supposedly got somebody in your life that's supposed to be a partner, but not allow you to work as hard as you do. I used to work 20-hour shifts and get up, do that first shift from like 7 to 2, go home, take a little hour, half hour nap. From 2 to 4, I'm sleeping, I'm studying, I'm doing whatever, getting ready to go to that next shift for 6 o'clock. Then from 6 to 11 or 12, sometimes 1 o'clock in the morning, and hustling it back. But it's not to say that y'all is built for it. It's just how stuff was constructed. Anybody could be built for it. It's just how we are being positioned. And nowadays, because of availability, support systems, technology, the everybody built for it, so we could, quote unquote, what she said, run around in circles. But it depends on the position, the support system, and your drive. It depends on your drive.
Okay. I can dig what you're saying. However, do you think that women would work that hard if they didn't have to? Like if you had to do it, right? Your situation where you were talking about two jobs and working 20-hour shifts, would you do that if you didn't have to?
I had to because I had a goal and I had a focus. And I didn't want to be in the same situation that I was in. So I wanted to get on and keep it pushing and elevate to the next level of my potential, to where now I'm able to do what the hell I want to do because that's what I focused on. So I'm going to go ahead and put in this groundwork. I'm not going to just lay around and expect that groundwork to come to me. So it depends on what that focus is. Now, again, because I know my experiences and my qualifications. Hell yeah. You don't want to give me this? All right, cool. Negotiation out the door. But when I turn back around in a couple of weeks, they're like, hey, we was kind of going back over that little interview and me and such was talking. you still have some availability? No, I don't. I'm already in this position, but I could get back to you at another time. If you got another management, supervisor, whatever position, I'll go ahead and reattack it. How that sound to you in the next 3, 4, whatever months? Because I can do that because of my qualification, because I know how to open my mouth and use my mouthpiece. So it just depends on if women have a support system or they have a link that lets them know, hey, baby, you need to go ahead and go with that gut, go with that intuition. You want to say, hey, go ahead and give me that 90. Go ahead and give me that, because that's how much I'm worth. Here's my portfolio. Here's what my experience is on internally, externally, whatever you going for. You got to show out for yourself. And now everybody talking about show up, show out, whatever, boss lady, this. Well, then how you going to do that? How you going to boss up in your own representation? What are your qualifications? How can you show to me and my firm that you are qualified for this position, and where can you then take us and yourself to that next level?
Antoinette, listen. I know what I announced earlier at the beginning of the live stream, y'all. I told y'all the Alabama church girl wasn't going to be with us, but she has surprised us and graced us with her presence. Shout out to the Alabama church girl. Say something to the people, Val.
Hey, good. First, giving honor to God, who is the head of my life, to all the leaders, saints, and friends. Hi, I'm glad to be on air.
Yeah, we are glad to have you. Glad to have you. Now, this comment on the screen from Gabrielle White. She says, I believe it was in the book Lean In, the author shared that men apply for a job with 60% or less of the qualifications, whereas women assume they can only apply if they have 100% of the skills. I know I've applied for jobs and not been able to check everything off, but you go in the interview and knock the thing out the park. You feel me? And I think that that has a lot to do with it too. Alabama church girl, I know you saw the title in the thumbnail. We're talking about good. Is it good? Is it not enough good men or not enough good women? And we played the clip from Rebecca Lynn Pope. I was about to say Alabama church girl, but we played the clip from Rebecca Lynn Pope where she said, women are running circles around men, and but we were talking about that the ratio between men and women earning $50,000 or more, right, is almost equal. Now we also know that it's only about 10% of the population that earns $100,000 or more. And the point that Rebecca Lynn Pope was making is that it's because of money, right? It's because of money and education, right? It's not enough eligible black men to go around, and it's because of the money and the education. Now, before you joined us, we saw that the amount of money that men make versus black men versus black women is more, right? College degree, we looked at different levels of it. And y'all, I got some more information. I came ready today. Well, what do y'all like to say? I have receipts. Yeah, I got receipts. I got receipts. So, Alabama church girl, what do you think? You want me to play the video for you again?
I will say this, JD. I think that we start messing up when we start valuing people by how much they make, because a good man or a good woman can't be defined by the digits in their bank account. It can't be defined by what an employer feels that they're worth, because a lot of value is packed in your character and what you value most in your life. You can determine value by behavior and consistent behavior. So I don't like to get into the defining if this is a good woman or a suitable mate based on how much money they're earning. I don't like to do that. Now, with that being said, I understand that all of us would like to and desire to be with someone who has earning potential and who are actively working in that potential. But at the same time, good is not defined in my book. I understand what she said about the other person's book, but in my book, a good man is not defined by his how many commas are in his bank account or how much his employer assessed his value as.
Now I can dig that, Alabama church girl. I can dig it. I'm with you 100%. Right? Same thing with Antoinette. I'm with y'all 100%. But my issue is how many women actually think that way in 2022.
That I can't, that I don't know. But I will say this: as much as I have voice, the power of life and death is in my tongue, and I will continue to say and share the same message, not only on this platform but wherever I go, amongst whatever woman I come in contact with, because plenty of women have the testimony that they have been with men who earn or have high earning potential, and their experience has not been good. There are too many books, there are too many movies. We see Lifetime make all these movies off of these testimonies of women's experiences that have not been good. So when do we start turning our attention to defining what a good person is based on the content of their character? Come on, Martin Luther King.
Mm, mm. Yeah, I agree with you 100%. But it seems like in 2022 that that's most of what you hear. If you look at Kendra G's dating show, right? If you look at Kevin Samuel's show, if you look at almost any of these dating relationship podcasts, live streams, whatever you want to call it, right? If you ask most women will tell you that they want a man that's making six figures or more, right?
And maybe
And
that's why those most women don't have a partner.
That part.
I had to hit the horn on that one. And I agree with that, and I think that part of the problem is that people have income, or the amount of income that people make skewed, right? I remember talking about this statistic. I don't have it pulled up here, but do y'all know that more than 50%, 50%, more than 50%, the majority of Americans don't have $1,000 in their bank account. Most people, not all, most people are living paycheck to paycheck, right? So the stats go, if you have $1,000 in your account, right, you are doing better than the majority of most Americans, right? $50,000 is above average, right? We just kind of round it out, right? For talking point purposes, right? But if this many people, this many women have such a skewed view of what people really earn, how do we fix it? And then, Umar Johnson, I'm gonna find this clip. Umar Johnson said that most black women have come across somebody suitable, right? But too many of us are worried about the wrong things in our 20s. And then when we get up in our mid to late 30s, then we just want to snap our fingers and think that, we're supposed to find a relationship. And that's not necessarily the way that it works.
But you have to look at who or what is influencing this mindset. And based on what is the presented in front of them, as in front of us when we're in our 20s, it's like the role models, if they're not setting role models, Lord, that's a whole nother kind of conversation. But okay, our support system, our community, our direct links, right? Who would influence us during these times, these transitions, these milestones, 20s, 30s, whatever. But who are our examples for our relationship to prepare us? Like, hey, you've gotten the degrees, you've gotten your credit score, you paid off your student loans in your 20s before you hit 30. Now it's time for you to get your relationship. But if you are looking for that relationship, what are you bringing to the table? Are you the table? What you bringing? Whatever the latest things are. Who are your examples? Who laid down the bricks to show you what's coming up and how to prepare for that? So at the end of the day, what are we truly trying to figure out? Are we trying to figure out women who want somebody who makes more money than us, so that way we just financially free? But then it's not your money if you're going on based on his money. Where's your money? You put your money together and y'all live comfortably. If you have these families that can only have less than $1,000 in their bank account, but you know what? If you look on their little IGs and their social media streams, guess what? They still going to Disneyland. They still making their road trips. They going on their carnival cruises. They making it do. And that's what we really need to look at. Okay, it sounds nice to be having these conversations on, okay, you got these 6-figure men and women looking for each other. But at the end of the day, we're not in that pot. And we all ain't looking for millionaires or whatever, because we know what we want. So if we're going to be those examples setting for them 20-year-olds, right, that's right, knocking on the door to 30s, whatever, you have to lead by example and provide that information, because clearly they're not going to get it from the quote unquote influencers of TikTok, IG, Facebook.
I think that might be a good name for it.
Et cetera, et cetera. We just got to dig a little bit deeper and be accountable for what we speak,
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. And just like the video that we looked at with Rebecca Lynn Pope, I do think that a lot of Black women's standards are a little bit unrealistic. And well, y'all, I'm capping. I'm sorry. A lot of it is unrealistic. Go ahead.
It might be more than just Black women, but I think that that's a societal issue, because the way we're sitting in a capitalistic society, and society tells us to always look at the bag. Everything that comes across media is basically pointing you to a bag. But that's why I will say on today, can you hear me clearly? I'm so happy to be a church girl when it comes to situations like that. You know why? Because my training was that the love of money is the root of all evil. And if you are with someone that's always talking about money, how much they can be, how much they can make, what I can get, then it's not going to lead to a happy road, because people will cut your throat over $1. I mean, it's literally cut your throat, and figuratively. They will step on family members.
For a second.
They will step over family members for $1. What do you think they will do to you?
Hey, babe, come here for a second.
Right.
Uh-oh.
My
Which babe? Who is this babe?
Right. Who is this looking for her babe?
No, I'm looking for the clip from Umar Johnson and TikTok. Keep on. I can't hit that mute button. I'm struggle streaming over here. But go ahead.
But yeah, I that part, that's why I can say that I'm happy to be a church girl that came and approached relationships. And y'all, this is not just how I view my love relationship. That's all relationships. My friendships with my girlfriends, my friendships with my guy friends, my relationship with my son. We don't do that. I just don't want to do that. I think I was telling I was making a point to a girlfriend this weekend, and I made the statement, that's the type of woman that I want around me. And I think she got offended, like, oh, do you judge who you want around you? Yes, and hell yes. I do. Because good energy. good energy, because you become a product of your environment. And if that's all that you want around you is someone, and it's good to have people around you with ambition. But what is your center? Is the center of your being money, or is the center of your being love of men? Because that's okay, y'all. I'm sorry, I'm preaching today, but that's what Jesus would do when he came to this world, to this earth. And I know that everybody doesn't believe in Jesus, but please just hear me out with the story of Jesus and how we frame the society that we live in based off that Bible. The story of Jesus was he came to this world to preach humanity and loving each other, seeing the humanity in men and loving on that more than anything. And somehow, even though we say the foundations of the country that we live in is based on the Bible, we move away from that story. It's not based off of your humanity. It's what you look like, what you got, who you are, who you're connected to, which is what they say. I'm sorry, JD. It's ass backwards.
Yeah, I tend to agree with that. But y'all, it bothers me that in 2022 that working a 9 to 5 is looked down on, right?
Right.
Whatever that 9 to 5 may be, right? And if you want to look at people that make 6 figures, a lot of them work a 9 to 5, whether it's low 6 figures or mid 6 figures. And then, sometimes the higher up you go, the more hours you have to work, right? The less time that you have to be at home, the more family events that you tend to miss. I think that people really miss what it is to be 6 figures, or what it is to make 6 figures, or what it means to have stable income, to be in the top 10, 15, 20% of earners in America, right? And just this fact, a lot of people, women saying, I don't want a man that works a 9 to 5. I'd rather him be a scammer, or I'd rather him make fast money, or I'd rather him be an entrepreneur. Everybody does not have that. Everybody doesn't have that in them, right? Same thing, and it goes for both men and women. People are trying to make the narrative out that men just ain't sugar honey iced tea, not doing nothing, not trying to make money, and it's only women that's trying to make money, that's trying to go further, that's trying to be entrepreneurs or whatever. And there's nothing wrong with that if that's what you want to do. But don't knock the people that's working at the plant earning an honest living, $41,000. The lady that's a teacher or whatever. You put your 40 with his 40, put it together, you got 80. You know what I'm saying? Now you living a little bit better. Whether or not it has to be 50-50 or not, when it comes to bills. And if we just be honest, right? Most women do not want to be responsible for the biggest portion of the financial load of the family, right? If you ask most women what percentage of the family load that they want to be a part of, I can guarantee you it's going to be less than 50%.
Well, JD, it's also the fact of mental manipulation and what we consider family. What are we talking about? Because a lot of relationships that are within the communities are sometimes drawn due to the toxic situations that brought them together, right? And they only have each other as a support system. So, in speaking of with family, they're all they got, right? So the mental manipulation that I'm speaking about is the growth and society's influence and impact on our finances, on our stability of mental health, on our examples of how we are able and capable to move forward. Now, with Black women that we're speaking about, with the higher education and things like that, we're seeing that influx because Black women are not included. And this again is our time to show our voice and our value. Like Val was saying, value. And it's going to be noticed one way or another. And we are always finding ways and unique ways to show our worth. So during this time of our business growth, during this time of us being able to manage the family, the household, the big ticket items, our self night vacations, girlcations, and all this, and still hold down the household is what needs to be noticed and spoke upon. So this mental manipulation with everything and finances in the relationship is the time of the Black woman and us being acknowledged, regardless of the money, regardless of the partnership. We gonna make it work. And you said that yes, the hustle mentality is not embedded in everybody, but if you have that right partner to show you the way, it depends on if you're gonna take that baton and run with it.
Mm-hmm.
And if that's your person, then all that's going to do is strengthen you to level on up. If not, take that information and move it on to that next relationship and build that person on up and just continue to grow in the community. As long as you are continuing to go in an upward battle and create and build on that support system, not tear it down and allow society to administer different toxic drugs into the system and in our playing field.
Okay, so when you're talking about mental manipulation, right?
Mm-hmm.
Are you talking about society manipulated?
I'm talking about society. I'm talking about our internal community, because you know we always going to have those in the community that's going to juck and jive. They're going to be like, all right, cool. They're just going to show us a certain face, but then behind closed doors, they're the one that's doing the sabotage and keeping the foolishness going. So there's always going to be those people, like you say, those people on this side and those people from this pot.
Mm-hmm.
It is applicable to every situation.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead, Alabama Church Girl.
I just think that it does us no service. We do ourselves an injustice when we only value people by their social economic standing. You do yourself, and we are here on this love and relationships panel to promote a conversation to encourage relationships where men and women are meeting at the altar. Right? Did I say that accurately, JD?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So with that being stated, maybe the situation is we get in our own way. Maybe these factors that we have put in front of our eyes are blinding us from seeing what's available. Maybe there are good men and just as many good women that could be partnered together, but we allow skin tone to get in the way. We allow the pocketbook to get in the way. We allow social status to get in the way. We allow our friends that are talking in our ear, girl, he ain't even got that. We allow those things to get in. I'm gonna tell you something. Let's go here. Let's go here. I'm sorry, I'm preachy today. Today's my baby's birthday. I'm a mother of a grown man.
Happy birthday to the young king. Oh, wait, hang on 1 second, Val. Don't lose your thought. We got another king in the building. Shout out to Pastor Rob. I know it's late, man, but hey, we had a time change, but he's here in the building for the last little stretch. Can you hear us?
How y'all doing? How y'all doing?
Good
We
evening.
doing
I can
good,
hear you,
man.
man. Can you hear me? Good
Yeah,
evening.
we can hear you loud and
Good,
clear.
man. You
Loud
know
and
this.
clear. All right, go ahead, Alabama Church girl.
I Pastor Rob, I'm sorry you came in right at this point, but and JD, I don't mean no harm, but I'm gonna go here because I'm trying to make a point. I recall the first time in my adulthood that I had a long-term relationship with someone that is not of the same race. And you know the stereotypes around men that are not black. And my girlfriends, the ones that, thank you, Gabrielle, the ones that, you know, I called my girlfriends at the time, were trying to talk me out of doing it because of the BBC. And I'm like, wait a minute now. At the time, now I have been dating the gentleman for a couple of months, but I hadn't seen what's in, you know, in the nether regions. So, but I was like at a place where, you know, I don't care. I want peace. I want love. I want respect. And that to me is more valuable than the BBC. And Lord behold, thank God for my husband, hallelujah. I didn't marry that man, but I thank God for the one I married. It ain't me, but you know what I'm saying. But you know, even those things will get in the way. And if I had listened to them, I wouldn't be in a happy place right now. Or I can't say that, you know, who's to say if I would be in the happy place right now? But those type of things we allow to get in our way to keep us from receiving the goodness that God has for us. And I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry. I promise you, I'm gonna come down off my pulpit in a little bit.
That's fine. Go ahead, girl.
Yeah, go. You good. You good. Struggle streaming again, y'all. But you know, so would you say Alabama Church girl? And we're gonna let Pastor Rob jump in here. And for those that are just joining us, we're gonna play this video one more time. Do you think that it's possible that single women keep women single?
It's possible. Now, I wouldn't say that that's the main reason women are still single, but it's possible, and there are some who fall into that category. Like, girl, if you don't stop listening to these women that ain't got nobody trying to tell you how not to get somebody, follow the spirit, because the soul knows where to go.
Mm.
But then we got to learn, first of all, we got to be confident in trusting our spirit, trusting the spirit of God, because it does speak. It does speak. You know, I had a major situation in my first marriage, but I would be lying to you if I sat here and told you there were no red flags.
Mm-hmm.
I just didn't trust it. I didn't pay attention to it. You know, girl, he looked good. That man, that's a good looking man. You know,
Mm-hmm.
that type of thing will
Mm-hmm.
lead you down the wrong road. Get off of that and trust the spirit. Learn how to trust discernment. We get everything and everybody else in our ear so much that we won't allow that spirit that's already in there, that's already speaking, to be heard. We muffle that mouth. I'm sorry.
No, you good. You are absolutely good. So, Pastor Rob, I know you saw the title in the thumbnail. We're talking about good. Is it enough good men, or not enough good men, or not enough good women? It seems to be a little bit of a disconnect. And before you jump in here and give your thoughts, I know you had your Bible study, and I don't know how much you actually saw, but here it is. We're gonna play it again. Let me make sure I'm not struggle.
Women are having, Black women in particular, when it becomes to becoming. What do you think the challenge is that women are having, Black women in particular, when it becomes to becoming a wife?
Keeping it 100,
Yes.
there's not enough eligible Black males who fit the needs of Black women. By the time you dissect the demographics of finances, sexual orientation, what you end up drilling down into, because Black women tend to want to marry Black men.
Right.
So Black women are excelling. They're getting accelerated degrees, graduate degrees, doctorate degrees. They're starting businesses. Black women are running circles around men.
Right.
And it's also shown in research that women want to marry on their same level of financial and educational status.
Yeah.
So if you're a Black woman making
barriers that she's
$150,000
putting
a year with a
down.
master's degree,
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. See all those barriers that she's putting down? I've heard 3 already.
Let's keep going.
you tend to want to marry a Black man on that same level or higher. If Black women are excelling at such an accelerated rate, how do men keep up with that?
What do you think the challenge?
So y'all heard what she had to say. Pastor Rob, what do you think, man?
I'm just going to stereotype. That's basically what it is, stereotyping. That's not the case in every area, right? You're going to have a shortage in men, good men, and shortage in good women too. So you choose what you want. It's your choice, right? Val, I've dated outside of my race as well. When I was in high school, even in college, I just had to explore, and sometimes we have to explore certain things, right? I don't knock a Black man for dating a white woman. I don't knock a Black woman for dating a white man. I cannot knock that, right? Because who you love is who you love, right? Whoever God put you with, that's who you with. And she's stereotyping far as, some women are not necessarily looking for a man to make more money than them, right? But you got some women that are. I'm not going to date you unless you make, 100K or better, right? But you can find that man that make that 100K, but he's treating you like trash. You see what I'm saying? Or you can find that woman that has that pretty face, nice body, but she's excuse my language, she's a hoe. So you just have to be mindful, and just continue, as Val said, you got to try the spirit by the spirit to see if it's of God, right? God gives all of us the spirit of discernment. So when you meet a person, if you don't have that spirit, you better ask God to give it to you so you can discern what's good and what's bad. So, and that's the problem. Too many people are being with people just because of a status quo. Get rid of that status quo and find that person that's going to be suitable for you. And if you got kids, women, if you got kids and you're a single mother or whatever, be mindful, make sure that man is going to treat your child just like it's his own, right? And vice versa. There are some men out there that are single parents. You find that woman that's going to treat your child just like that's their child. Because if you don't, you're putting yourself into a big mess. So that's my intake on it. You got a shortage of both. Right? But you have to be mindful what you want in life.
Right. I dig it 100%. And another thing too, I hear exactly what Pastor Rob is saying, and I agree 100%. And I heard what Alabama Church Girl said about trying the spirit by the spirit. I think that in more spaces like these, and I know how people feel about God and the church or whatever, but I think that we should take the opportunity to try to use spaces like these to involve God more in our relationships, right? Because it gives a guideline. The Bible gives a guideline about what you need to do, what you need to look for, what you need to be wary of, and everything. And Pastor Rob, I agree with you 100%. The red flags. People will, and I'm guilty of it too, people will deal with somebody that they know you have no business dealing with, right? And it's usually because of three things. I say this all the time: fear, scarcity, and lack, right? People will deal with someone for the fear of being by themselves. People will continue to deal with somebody because they think there's not anybody else out there for them. And then people will stay with somebody because they think that they lack something if they're not in a marriage or a relationship, right? So I think that if we start in the church and help people to learn what they should be looking for, what the red flags are, what they should not be entertaining, I think we'll be much better off. Because somebody was joking with me not long ago, talking about, yo, JD, you've been cutting them off, man. You'll cut them off. Yup, you doggone right I will, because I've already experienced certain things, and I'm not going back down that road again. But that comes with a little bit of wisdom, right? That comes with a little bit of going through things and having to experience. But if we start teaching people, teaching our young boys, our young women from a younger age, I think that a lot of our people could avoid some of the heartaches and the heartbreaks that we had to go through. I think it needs to start in the church. I think we need to start training more in the church. I hope that we can do it. But wait a minute. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I don't want to stop your point, but I do want to add a point.
Mm-hmm.
I think it should start in the home. Because it's not really, we don't have people going to church like they used to.
I agree. I agree with that. But since it's not starting in the home, I think the church needs to be the one to kind of ramp this thing back up, right? For the ones
Right. I think we'll be the second line of defense.
Yes, for the ones that are going, right? Go ahead, Antoinette.
And I wouldn't say that it's not at home. It also depends on your support system. Because if we think about the stages of when we were teenagers, we all were getting the influences of our parents at home. And then your friends, right? You listen more to your friends, even though you had your foundation at home. You still had the push from your parents to go to church, but even at church you were seeing the wheeling dealings, and you was like, okay, well, there's different bias. So of course I'm gonna be that spade in the middle that's gonna be like, okay, went to Catholic school all my life, went to different churches because that's what I was supposed to do, quote unquote. That's where you're gonna get that initial learning lessons and the guidelines, whatever. But wasn't welcomed or always was treated as though, hey, I was a first time visitor, even though my sister was the deacon pastor sister of the son married to the firstborn. You saw me every Sunday. So it depends on that church. It depends on that church's guide. It depends on their support system. It depends on everything in a whole. So I'll be that outlier there to say that it depends on your support system. As adults, it depends on your support system, not just at home and in the church.
And JD, real quick, and we're just going to go back to the Bible. The Bible says train a child up in the way they should go. When they get old, they won't depart from it, right? And I do believe training does start at home first, Val. It really does. But in today's society, how can you train someone when you don't know yourself, right? Because we got a lot of households where, they just don't know. They're just trying to wing it, right? So JD, is very vital, especially as me and you being pastors, it's very vital that we tap into the resources, not only to help our young people, but as well as help our older people, because some of them don't know as well, right? So, and then, hell, you got some pastors just out there that's just free-handing themselves too, because they don't. So, you just have to start with self, right? Number one, you got to be willing to want to learn, right? That's an old saying. Can you teach an old dog new tricks? You can. How? You got to train them, right? So that's what's lacking in the church is really putting training, because we got to stop just being Sunday preachers, just getting up preaching on Sunday, but what are you doing the rest of the week, right? So the church and the family, and as Antoinette said, the support system, it plays a vital part. So we have to, it's critical, it's very critical that we that have had those experiences, because I've been married once. That first marriage took me through hell, right? I should not be afraid to tell someone what I went through in that marriage, right? So so they'll know, hey, I don't need to probably try this, or maybe I need to try that, so we have to be able to tell people our testimony and be very much teachable and be able to train someone else.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yo, I am digging that. I am digging every bit of that. And that's what spaces like these are for. But listen, y'all. Pastor Rob, I'm sorry you couldn't spend more time with us. I had to bump the time up. You already know what I got going on. So y'all, I got some training I gotta be on in just a few minutes. So I want to know, y'all want to vibe with me for a minute? Y'all want to vibe with me for a few minutes? Just for a couple of minutes. Let's see. Experiencing enough failure should be enough motivation to try something new. Try trusting the Spirit. Hallelujah. Shout out to Gabrielle White. We shouldn't fear our experiences, just learn from them. Absolutely. I know I've learned from my experience. I know y'all have learned from y'all's experiences as well. Sometimes experience is the best teacher, right? But yo, we got to run, y'all. Thank y'all for joining us. Don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to comment below. Don't forget to share the video if you got any value out of the video. I'm pretty sure somebody else will get some value out of it too. Oh, yo, shout out to I'm not going to even try to butcher your name. We doing good. Shout out to Duke. Listen, y'all, I apologize. This is not we're ending on our usual time that we start. Yeah, right? So make sure if you're watching on YouTube, make sure y'all have y'all's post notifications on so y'all know when we go live, when we post, and you will be updated about the time change. I had to shift the time this week, so we're a little bit off, but thank y'all for joining us. Don't forget to hit that replay button. We about to vibe out for just a little bit, y'all. Y'all gonna vibe with me? Let's vibe just a little bit. Y'all hit that like button. Hit the subscribe button. Wait, y'all, I got to turn this up a little bit. I got to turn it up a little bit. That better? Is that better? Shout out to Gabrielle White for Thou Shalt Eat the labor of thine hands. Happy shalt thou be, and it shall be well with thee. Bottom line, do the work. You got to do the work, y'all. Thank you, Duke, for joining us. Shout out to Gabrielle White. Great show. Thank you to all the hosts. Y'all, share this video. Share this video. Hit the links in the description below if you want to join the Facebook group. Until next time, YouTube, we out. Peace.